is one of the most powerful production Ferraris that they've ever made.
Just under 1,000 horsepower.
This SF90 is one of the least expensive in the entire country, clocking in just over $500,000. Had it had a limited production badge, it would be 3 times the price. Here are 5 things we hate about it. It's like you're swiping an iPad, dude. Engine start stop. Is this it?
Yeah, it's powered on now.
Are we serious?
Yeah.
Dude,
See,
is there anything
ready to go right by the P?
Oh my god. All of the screens that they could have put in any of their other cars, they just converted it into one car and put every single screen they could imagine in here. Alright, we're hanging out at Marshall Goldman Newport Beach. I'm here with Matthew, which we filmed the LFA video with, if you remember him. We are checking out the SF90 today, one of the most powerful production Ferraris ever made. Let's talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is a car that's a little bit polarizing. We do have some fans of it, but there's been a lot of kind of hate online, if you will, towards it. And I think a lot of that comes from Ferrari just kind of overproduced it.
Yeah.
But it is a very special car.
If this was a limited production model, the demand for it and the collectability of it would have gone up quite a bit. And as far as actual performance, it keeps up with most of the hypercar Ferraris that people really idolize, like the LaFerrari.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the car itself is incredible. I mean, the styling is nuts. It looks like a freaking Hot Wheels car. Can't knock the powertrain. I mean, we have the twin turbo V8 that we saw in like the Pista and the F8. Tied with a hybrid setup. We're just under 1,000 horsepower. We got all-wheel drive.
And this actually has one of the more rare packages and options as far as like the spec things that are added on after, you know, the base model.
It does have the Assetto Fiorano package, which is going to give you a lot of extra carbon fiber. So the whole front bumper, the rocker panels, it does have a high downforce rear wing and exposed carbon, and the whole rear bumper is going to be carbon, plus the racing suspension. There is one caveat with that.
There is one downside, which will be one of the things that we hate about it. One of the things that really stands out with this package is this carbon fiber wing.
Helps with the downforce. Also, another aspect we're going to see with the Assetto Fiorano package is the rear bumper inserts and full shiny carbon. Really stunning there.
A little bit polarizing to hate certain things about one of the higher end Ferraris, but with any car, it might come with some compromises here and there. You know, nothing's just perfect, so it's kind of fun to talk about that side of it. You have really cool wording for the rest of the stuff. What was the name of this really cool livery that goes across this whole thing in like this reverse T formation specific to the SF90?
Two-tone stripe.
Two-tone stripe. Wow, you can't even put that in Italian phrasing for you. Nice. And then the name of the package was?
The package is going to be Assetto Fiorano.
Much cooler, but the stripe does make it look quite a bit cooler than just if it was like pure red, I think. I like the stripe, the two-tone stripe. Definitely,
it's going to be breaking it up. The other portion of it is going to be the black roof. So you'll notice this portion on the front hood is hand painted black there. Standard, the cars just are going to come in one color. So if this thing was Rosso Corsa, everything here would be red. That'd be kind of boring. With the roof in Nero or black, breaks it up, gives it more of that LaFerrari look. Plus we have that really cool silver stripe, and the actual color is going to be Argento Nuremberg ring.
I'll give it to Ferrari. Two-tone stripe, you can remember it a lot easier.
So one thing I hate about it back here, all other Ferraris have a gas strut. This thing doesn't, so it comes with a little holder, which is right here, and then you gotta notch it into place.
Yeah, that's a little annoying on the $500,000 supercar right there.
Slightly janky.
I guess you could say it's weight savings, but you know, what are we really saving by doing that?
Questionable. One thing to note though, check out how low this engine sits.
That's what I was going to say.
Pretty gnarly how far they got it in there.
Is there a specific reason? It might just because of like, you know, weight distribution, it being lowered like to 100%. The center of the car. It makes it more, you know, agile, different things, like control it a little bit better.
Absolutely. Just like in a Formula One car, we want the engine and the driver to be as close as possible. I mean, you can literally see that thing's right up against the bulkhead and the driver's seat's going to be right over there.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh yeah, this is one thing I want to mention about the hating of this car. Let's in the driver's seat. Ooh. hating the SF90, you know, second part 2.
Right, it's going to be the key. So,
oh, really?
Looks really cool, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do we put a keychain on this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a little annoying.
So if you have like house keys or any other keys with you, maybe you need one of those clickers for your gated neighborhood or such, you're going to have to keep 2 sets.
Yeah,
so you're going to have to
keep the Ferrari key with the other normal keys. The lesser keys, I guess.
For sure.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, Ferrari definitely did that intentionally. That's a little silly. Probably the most silly thing about this car, especially for making videos and stuff, you saw with the F12 that we did the video with, the tactile buttons to, ooh, he's pressing a start-stop button. Like, look at that badass guy. He's pressing it. The big, you know, red button like you're sending off a nuke. But this one, it's like you're swiping an iPad, dude. Engine start stop. Oh, look at, he gets to, hold on, how do we do this? Is this it?
Yeah, it's powered on now.
Are we serious?
Yeah.
Dude,
See,
is there anything
ready to go right by the P?
Oh my god. Does this swipe anywhere? Does this stay like this?
It just stays like that now that
wow.
it's on. So you can see your phone Bluetooth functions are over there.
Yeah, another thing you'll see.
Control.
Everything's a screen. Everything is a screen. Climate control is a screen. The mirrors here, to adjust your mirrors, is a screen. All of the screens that they could have put in any of their other cars, they just converted it into one car and put every single screen they could imagine in here. There's these are some of the only buttons you'll see in the car, and these are actually kind of cool. I believe this is based off of like older vintage Ferraris and stuff. Like, this is a more modern version of that, like reminiscent of the past.
Correct. They're just trying to show us the open kind of 6-speed gated setup that they used to run. It's just little buttons here. So that's reverse.
Yeah.
Clicking down's manual. That's automatic. And then over here is if you're trying to do launch control.
ED, so this is the electronic driving mode where it doesn't take any gas to be able to do it. It runs fully on electric power.
Correct. So we can go about 15 miles on pure electric right now. So let's say you're leaving your neighborhood or stuff and you don't want to piss off your neighbors. This is kind of a nice little mode to quietly get out of there.
Or if you're moving cars around. Most people that buy this car might have multiple vehicles. So to like situate them around, kind of like we had to do for this video, putting it in this mode is really like, it's helpful. That's one of the positives of this car, you know, not a negative. No, pretty cool. The button here, you know, try to make this look cinematic. Fucking swiping the iPad. Ooh, let me just swipe my Ferrari. Oh my god, was that that's the sound to turn it off? Mm-hmm. Like you're sucking on a straw or something. Well, that's
a little bit funky.
It is a funky car, but this wasn't like, it wasn't meant to be a limited production like LaFerrari type. It was meant to be a more produced Ferrari, just from conception.
Correct.
So it is crazy the amount of screens that are in this car, right?
Absolutely.
It's a little crazy.
Everything's digital.
It's,
even your tack.
Yeah, it's wild. Not so like a negative we'll cover right now, but a negative just like maybe 15, 20 years in the future, the electronics are going to show its age much more than anything else. This is why Bugatti doesn't make very many screens in their cars, because they want it to be timeless. Correct. They want you to be able to go in it 50 years from now and feel like a new car. This, like, if you have like lag on the temperature control, whatever it is, you're going to be feeling that in 15 years when your kid's on his iPhone Max screen plugged into his head, his forehead with his neuro chip from Elon. You were gonna say about the different drive mode that this goes in. If you're like switching between them, you don't know.
I just missed the clicks. So this one's kind of a hybrid, if you will, just like the car. We still do have a button for the Manatino, but the functionality you can see is electric. We still do have a click, thank God, on it. So that way we don't have to look down for this one. So sport's there, one click up, or we know in race. Those are the two modes you're kind of using on the street and the dry. But like, if we're gonna change from hybrid, I gotta look over here to this H and click it. This is what's gonna fire our gas engine.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, and this changes the infotainment. Just very slightly, actually. What the fuck? The performance and hybrid changes on that side as far as wording, but that's kind of crazy that it doesn't, like, I don't know, you could almost be in one mode and not really know it.
Yeah, this is where it gets funky because you can accidentally hit something else. That's pure electric. That's our hybrid.
Does this like track your lap time? Yeah. Qualifying?
Yeah.
These paddles are nice.
They are oversized.
Big carbon fiber paddles. Is this, is there any reason when the doors are open, it's in like, well, that's
Italian.
not English.
It's in Italian right now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Porta means door, aperta is open.
That's weird how that's only in Italian, but the rest of it's in English.
They're getting cutesy.
That's crazy. And then again, Italian for when you open your doors, but two-tone stripe for the two-tone stripe option. I just find that
Correct.
wild. This is how you do it?
Yeah.
Is this, would you say that's faster or slower than doing it regular tactile?
Right now it's working well, but we know like this little pad can get scratched. It also needs like heat from your fingers. So I mean, if your hands are really cold, this doesn't work as well.
Damn.
Right now it's just kind of an ideal setup.
Oh yeah, those are all the, that's for the hood trunk. And the charging ports.
Yep.
And everything.
Fuel door.
A lot of cars put like, you know, the silhouette of the car is usually like the car that they put. It looks like a Tesla or something. Like, that's so fucking weird, dude. I don't know. I don't look at that and be like, oh yeah. Wow. So what mode did we put it in for that?
Just click it here.
I didn't understand what you said.
The voice commands are going off. We turned on the car, like brought it to life, and then
Yeah.
you hit the start stop one more time, and then it's gonna fire the gas engine.
Check that out. New Ferrari. How the hell do you say that? Puro sangue or whatever, right?
The pure blood.
Yeah. Ferrari SUV while filming the SF90. That's crazy. Ironically, I've seen a lot more Koenigsegg's than I have LFA. So, yeah,
Welcome Orange County.
yeah.
So some people hate that it's a hybrid, but this part just looks neat.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Most
Okay.
people have the like engine in the front here. You have the wires, exposed wires in a nice fashion.
So our final negative is kind of a catch-22, because if I were personally going to be buying a SF90, I would want this Seto Fiorano package, because it's going to come with that racing suspension like we talked about, high downforce swing, plus a bunch of carbon fiber, which just makes the car that much prettier. You do lose the front axle lift system. So we're gonna have to go a little bit old school here. Just be conscious of that. So we're pulling into driveways. You got a big speed bump. You wanna take all that stuff at an angle.
I don't know. At least to me, I didn't know that the front axle lift came standard, and then buying an additional package that makes the car a lot cooler, more expensive, and just have a lot more options takes something away that is like pretty useful. It's like, it's a very useful thing. Like, you almost need to when you're like, the car's very low. The carbon fiber like here on the bottom is like that's part of the package, or a option. Yeah, that's part of the package. And then they said, oh yeah, the carbon fiber we're gonna add specifically in the lower front section. Take the lift off. No, it's fine, we don't need that. That's a strange decision to make.
Somebody signed off on Italy and said that that would work.
Yeah.
I was not involved in that meeting.
Yeah. All right, so that was the ups and downs of the Ferrari SF90. One of their most powerful production cars, and just a really badass modern Ferrari. One of the coolest mid-engine Ferraris, I think. I love the styling on it. Two-tone stripe looks cool. The buttons, or the non-existent buttons, are a little bit crazy to me, but it's cool nonetheless. I think you'll see even the 5 negative things that we reviewed about it or disliked about it does not take away from the big positives of the car and driving it and getting the experience of that, because there's just not very many cars that deliver the type of experience this does with almost 1,000 horsepower.
For sure.
Yeah. So any ending segments on this?
No, I mean, I think it's a lot of bang for the buck. There's not many current supercar hypercars that are going to be pushing 1,000 horsepower hybrid setup right from the factory,
especially
with a warranty for
yeah.
under 600 grand. So
I was
there.
going to say, especially with the price point, this being one of the, you know, least expensive versions of this car in the country right now. The bang for the buck is real on this thing, because just like a year ago, this would have been the most expensive thing in the showroom because of, you know, the market and pricing. But now, as far as price point, being overshadowed by some other ones that don't have you know, some of the performance that this does.
Correct.
Like COVID times, these things were almost $1 million, which is insane. It's like half the price. That's fucking crazy.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. So if you want to get a deal on a really high performance supercar, I think this is a good way to go, at least
Well,
for that price.
Reach out while it's still here.
Yeah.